Okay, so news about gold. You know, the exports are always going up and down, depending on how the economy is like. And it seems it has gone up a little again from the 1.1 that it used to be before. It used to be 1.1. At least we can say it's good compared to before, because I quite remember there was quite some time back. I think some months ago it was too high. It went up to 6.1. Also, yeah, 6.1, yeah, and now it has come to 1.1, so it's good. But before 1.1 it was at 1.3 though. Yeah, but we want to keep the exports, not too high. It should be, it should be a relative good amount. You have to keep some here. You know, do other stuff with it. So yeah, so I think it's a good thing because this is in billion. This is billion. We are talking billions here. Yep. And if you check the figures that are coming in, you see that Ghana's total balance of trade alone just recorded a surplus of 1.33 billion in the first 4 months of this year. And according to the central bank summary, when you check the economic and financial data, it's actually equivalent to 1.9% of the GDP. That's the gross domestic product. Now, the figures so far are showing that Ghana's economy, it has its activities going high normally at a certain rate in certain times. Like I was saying earlier, 6.1 billion. You get it? Ghana's total exports increased to 6.1 billion. You get it? And when you look at that amount of gold, it's like this. Is what I think. It's already a 34% point increase, and that was even before. That was after the 4.5 billion. But when things were, going somewhere and people were complaining, they had to export some of the gold to, bring some income in. And yeah, so it went to 4.5 billion. But now this 6.1 billion, when it went that high, we were like, whoa, we have to make sure we are not, exporting too much. And then we're hearing things about these trade balances. Some were claiming it was attributed to the increase in the price of crude oil also, which is on the world market, and it's an increase also in certain other areas of the economy. And so we are seeing also an increase in gold production as of that time in April, 6.1 billion. But now we were happy when it finally dropped and went to 1.3 billion and 1.1 billion, and now it's going up again, and so right now it's around 1.3. So we just want to make sure we don't send out too much. Yeah, let's not send too much of the gold out. You get it? And if you check other data, it's revealing that gold dominated the total value of exports. Um, Remember, in the early part of this year, there was also a time where it was 1.87 billion, and it was also moving up from the 1.4 that was in somewhere in March. So you should see how it just goes and comes, and then depending on how things are like in the economy, then it is used to sort of keep things solid. Yeah. So if you compare to certain products like cocoa also rose up by 24%. Um, Recording around 1.1 or 1.11 billion, I think. Yeah, 1.11, 1.11, yeah. Yeah, or was it 1.1? I think it was 1.11 or something. Yeah, okay, so it was 1.11. Yeah, yeah. So around April, that was cocoa, and then next thing we saw, there was a certain 895 US million. That's in dollars. Registered in March. Now, when you look at the amount of exports and the way they normally decline when you compare it to the 1.29 billion previously, you will see that a lot has been put in to keep the economy stable. Have you realized that? Yeah, yeah. The total amount of imports for April of 2022 this year stood at 4.7 billion, around there about. You get it? Now look at something. Before you even concentrate on that 4.7 billion, look at something. There was a report that imports that were not oil-based imports, were estimated at 3.49 billion. So when you do your subtraction and all, you see what figure is left. You get it? And meanwhile, oil imports accounted for 1.27 billion as of that time in April. So you get it? Yeah, and we want things like oil to be exported more. So we should do our best to try exporting more of the oil. But I also feel we should also concentrate on, turning it from its raw state. Yeah, like we shouldn't be selling the raw state only. But how much I feel we should do more in the finished products. We could turn it into something else, and then we make more on that side. And there are a lot of things to be discovered. People are discovering things new every day. So the old things that you could use oil for, you can even use it for newer things when you find out. And technology is really advancing these days. Sometimes you look back and you're like, was it not days ago that we used to do things this way, we used to do things that way? Now look at how everything has changed. Look, there's a lot of these examples where technology is going high. Look back at TV screens when we used to have the box TV. You remember? Yeah. And some people even had pride in having some very big. I tell you, one time I went to a friend's house, and then when she took me to their hall, I was surprised. That was the biggest box TV I'd ever seen. That was more than 50 inches. I'm telling you. I was like, how come they kept this for that long? It had this DVD player even attached to it, so it's a TV, but you can put a deck. You remember those cassettes? You can play a deck thing, like it already has a deck inside. You don't have to worry about another DVD player. I was like, eek! It was very huge. But now look at how all that has changed. Now we're having only the screens. What is behind is very small, it's very short. You get it? You can stem examples also from even phones. We have to use to enter a booth, a phone booth to make calls. And I remember back in our time, because those of us in the neighborhood did not really have anyone to call, or no reason to call somebody. People were using the rain boots as how do you call these things? Shelter when it was raining. I quite remember there was one time we were just coming back from school and it started raining. Next thing I see, some two people enter the phone booth and it's full up, and one person wants to enter again. They are like, no, it's full. They can't take it anymore. I'm like, what? But today nobody has to go through all of that, to make a phone call anymore, and the phone booths are not existent. It's like they never even were in existence before. You don't see them anywhere in town anymore. You get it? So it's how things are. We are seeing a lot of things changing. Look at even how some people are now using vehicles that are not powered with any type of petroleum or fuel. You get it? No type of oil based fuel, but simply solar power. It's amazing. And back then, if you had told someone this, he would have made a lot of money or saved a lot of money that would have gone into fuel to do something else, and because you just look at the hot sun and look at our place, look how hot it gets sometimes. Yeah, so free fuel. But now things are changing and things are not like it used to be. So we should find some ways to do something about crude oil too. See how we export that one in its finished state more than the gold and all of these more precious resources. Okay, and viewers, please leave your views and your comments on what you think, should be the way to go with this increase in exports of gold. Hey, you can share your opinion. Maybe you agree or disagree with something. Maybe you want to add something, subtract something. Feel free. The comment section is there for you. Thank you very much for listening and have a very nice day.